It's time for the MadDawg Show, coming to you from the heart of the Bulldog Nation. And now, here he is, the MadDawg.
Welcome back to the MadDawg Show, where I remain in mourning, and I'm doing something magnanimous. I think that's the right use of the term. And we have Ole Miss superfan, Kristen Banks. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me on the show. I was a little shocked when I didn't know if we would still be friends or not. But you know that at heart, I'm a Georgia fan, so too.
I know that you were raised a Georgia fan, and you went to Ole Miss, great school. And we were talking about beforehand, Ole Miss fans and Georgia fans, very similar people. And like I said, at the game, I see all these Ole Miss fans everywhere, and I'm like, if you took the powder blue off and put on red and black, they're Georgia fans, and vice versa. Just 100%. Good people.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I feel like Georgia and Ole Miss are very similar. I think that's why I love them both so much.
So tell us about, you got this game going on. You got your brother, Chandler, went to Georgia. Your parents are there, right?
Yes, my parents are there. They're separating me and Chandler. I'm on the far end, I'm on the far left. He's on the far right. We have my parents and his wife separating both of us because we know we can't sit together.
So you won a tough fought game that broke our hearts. How did your brother handle it?
All I know is after the field goal, I look up, probably not to say something because I'm smart enough now. We're both very competitive and we get very, we're sore losers. So we get very mad. So I probably wasn't going to say anything, but I just looked up and he was already gone from the stadium. He missed the whole safety, the sliding the stage on 3 times. Right. He missed all that. He was gone. The minute that the field goal, gone.
So when they're doing that whole, safety, there's still a second left, onside kick, they throw the ball around. For me, I'm sitting there going, okay, this play is going on a long time. Is this going to be the most amazing, craziest comeback ever? And I was, of course, wrong.
Yeah.
But obviously a great win for Ole Miss, historic win. And I got a question because people have said this to me, that the Ole Miss players are doing it not for Kiffin, but more to spite Kiffin.
100%. That's how I feel too. And I feel like that's how the fan base is. At this point, I think it kind of started as to spite Kiffin. And I still kind of believe that's true. But at this point, as an Ole Miss fan, I can tell you that I am completely okay that Ole Miss is gone. At first we were hurt, but right now at this point, we're so over Lane Kiffin and all his drama that, last time I was on here, I was diehard Lane Kiffin fan. Ever since, I was he's not leaving. He loves us, all this stuff. But ever since all that stuff, some crazy stuff has come out. I'm sure you've seen it. And even now, I don't know if you saw, we are keeping our running back, Keywan Lacey, and Trinidad. They said that they were re-signing at Ole Miss. But, Lane Kiffin, I think, has gotten in trouble multiple times for doing, talking to players before you're allowed to talk to them. And I don't know if you saw the whole Washington quarterback thing.
No.
Have you seen that?
No.
Apparently the Washington quarterback just said that he was entering the transfer portal. And, 4 days ago, he re-signed with Washington. And so they're going to pursue legal action. And I don't know, but it was kind of insinuated that Lane Kiffin may have talked to him before he was allowed to.
Oh, well, you can bet your last dollar that if anybody's tampering in the portal or trying to lure people into the portal, it's Lane Kiffin. Now, what was some of that other crazy stuff you were talking about that came out? Is there crazy
have you seen hashtag Lanestein files?
No.
No, you haven't? Oh, gosh. So, you know how I was talking about how he's gotten his life together and all this stuff, and his ex-wife moved back to Oxford, and she was with him at the press conference when they announced him as head coach. But he also has been texting a lot of college girls, and all those messages were released. Basically, Ole Miss fans were like burning him at the stake the minute he left Oxford, and they were just releasing the craziest stuff.
So, I mean, all the sliding into DMs stories we've been hearing are just basically true.
It's all true. It never changed. Like at Alabama, it was Joey Freshwater or whatever.
Yeah.
Still same guy, but goes by Lane Kiffin now, I guess.
And I guess that the whole he's rekindling with his wife is kind of not true.
I don't know. I'm still confused. Like she was at the press conference when they announced him as the head coach. So, and I heard that she was there like 2 weeks before picking out the house and everything. So
Right.
I'm so confused. I have no idea at this point.
Well, enough about Lane. He's sucked the air out of the airwaves for long enough.
That is so
And
cool.
before we get to your next game, which is against Miami, obviously, I want to talk about one of my conspiracy theories, which is the CFP and ESPN, because they're in bed together, are completely anti-SEC, and I'm going to lay it out for you right now.
All right, let's hear it. I love a conspiracy theory.
They can seed this thing any way they want to.
Mhm.
And so the way they seeded it was Ole Miss against Tulane. Well, we know who's going to win that one. And then Ole Miss would play Georgia. So what does that do? That eliminates an SEC team.
Yep.
You start the whole thing out. Oklahoma and Alabama. That's going to eliminate one of those teams. You could have, when Ohio State and Indiana played each other in the Big Ten championship, moved Ohio State back to 3.
Yeah.
Moved Georgia to 2. But they didn't want to do that. They wanted to keep them on opposite sides of the bracket so that they can't play each other unless it's a national championship. So the net result, who have I left out of the SEC that was in?
Alabama,
We had
Oklahoma,
5.
us. Who else was in there?
I don't know. Was it just an interview?
No, I think it's just us 4, right?
There was somebody else that was in there. Who was it?
Oh, Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, I guess that was quasi-fair.
That was wild. I did not see that coming, to be honest.
But they were going to make sure that if Texas A&M kept going, that between Texas A&M, Georgia, and Ole Miss, they're going to all cancel each other out. So there's going to be one SEC team.
I haven't thought about it like that, but I will say after the Indiana-Ohio State game, I was like, why the heck aren't they 3? I don't know.
Right. That's why, because there's in their minds, there's SEC fatigue, anybody but the SEC. So that's why y'all have to go win.
Hotty toddy.
I'm not going to say
we're on the road to win.
I'm not going to say hotty toddy, but we are pulling for y'all. But let's talk about what you do aside from work, which this is kind of work, in the motocross world. And we were talking about, you know how when your phone hears you talking about whatever, a new bike.
Yeah.
You know, new bikes are on here, and I'm, scrolling through YouTube last night with my dog, and all of a sudden it's this whole motocross section thing that I never watched that. And it's Travis Pastrana, which I've definitely heard of, and most people have because he's a superstar. And another guy, Brooks Hovey, that I, of course, hadn't heard. And there was an RMzilla versus a 500cc 2-stroke. And I'm real proud of myself for being able to regurgitate that. And I immediately thought about you, and that's your world. So tell us again what you're doing, because you're traveling all the time.
Well, first of all, I'm very impressed that you watched that video and that it came up. And you had mentioned earlier that it was the Stark, so electric bike, and my father has one. So if you ever want to ride one, you know where you can find one, because I think it's crazy. You just need to get on one because it is crazy fast, and no one understands until you get on it, because it sounds like it's silent. Like all you can hear is the tire, really, or like it's weird, but it is so fast. So if you ever have a free day, you need to call Donnie and get on one.
Well, I got my new helmet coming from Capital Cycle.
Yeah. Okay, sweet.
So when that comes in, I'll have my start conversation with him, and maybe even your granddad. Who knows?
hey, he just turned 92, I think, and he's still at work every day. 92 on December 31st while we're at the Sugar Bowl.
Love that guy. He's so awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, keep going.
So I do like commentating, sports reporting, trackside reporting for Arena Cross. And that's what season I'm in right now. So I'm headed to Toronto tomorrow for a doubleheader on Friday and Saturday, which means I will not be going to the Fiesta Bowl. So it kind of hurts my heart a little bit to say that I will not be cheering the Rebs on, because I was at the Sugar Bowl and I was planning on going to the Fiesta Bowl. And then I was like, oh, wait, I have another job here. But Arena Cross is like inside dirt bike racing, and I love it. It's so much fun. You'll have to come to one day.
Absolutely. And to me, one of the many things that's so cool about it is it's an absolutely organic passion for you. Mm-hmm. You know, Capital Cycle has been around for over 100 years in Macon. You know, this is not something you just decided to start following. You're raised in it. You're a rider. You can speak the language. You know, you've developed friendships with these people that you're covering. And so it's super cool to watch.
No, I tell everyone I tried to get out of it. Like, my entire life has revolved around it. And so when I went to college, I was like, I want nothing to do with this, blah, blah, blah. But like, once you have a passion for something or your entire life has revolved around it, you realize as soon as you like go try to do something else, you're like, wait, I really miss this. And so, of course, I came back to it. And now every weekend I get to go to a race and I love it. Even when I'm home, like for Christmas break, Thanksgiving, I go to a track and ride just because I'm like, can't get away from it.
All right. Now, when you're riding, I mean, are you jumping? I mean, how no? You're free to embellish here. This is where you could have said, oh, yeah, I'm jumping 50 feet in.
I used to, and I have my dad's personality where I don't really think. I'm an adrenaline junkie and I'm not like analytical. So I will just freaking send it and kill myself. And now I know that I have multiple jobs that I can't afford to miss 3 weeks off because I broke a leg. So my dad actually gave me the rule that I have to keep both tires on the ground, but I kind of like play with that a little bit. You know, we get some air. I just don't full on jump all the jumps. Right. But so I do keep both tires on the ground for the most part. But we had a practice day and I still race with other guys and I get competitive. So I'm like, I got to go as fast as possible. I got to jump this because I got to get a little further. But I'm not jumping anything crazy. But I will say my brother, who hasn't gotten on a bike in like 15 years, he's been having a lot of migraines lately. And the doctor was like, you need to start doing more cardio. Like, he works out all the time, but he doesn't really do cardio, I guess he said. And so he was like, I want to start riding again. And I was like, what? Which, if you know anything about dirt bikes, most of the guys are pretty small. Like, kind of think like a jockey on a horse. Right. Very similar. So my brother's like 6'6", yeah. 200. I don't even know what he weighs, to be completely honest. 255. I don't know. He's a big guy. And him on a 450 looks like he's on a 50. But the whole reason I'm telling this is because we're in the same class. I ride like once or twice a year, usually when I'm home. And he is smoking me. Like, we're together for a little bit. And then he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to start jumping after the first one. And I'm like, dude, what? I was like, you haven't been on a bike in 15 years. And when I say my brother just started sending it, he jumped every jump on the track. But he's like like I said, like, he's analytical. So he was probably like going around the track, kind of thinking, okay, how much gas do I need to give it here? And I did hear him ask, like, he was asking my dad, like, what gear should I be in on this one, blah, blah, blah. Whereas me, I would just be like, full send. Like, if I jump it, I jump it. If not, oh well, we'll figure it out later.
I will harass him to do more cardio in the gym because he has not been doing cardio. He's strictly on the weights. So yeah. I see him regularly. I'll work with him on that. I can't imagine seeing 6'6" Chandler coming behind me on a bike. That would be terrifying. It's hilarious. Have you broken any bones?
I've never, knock on wood, have broken a bone.
So your dad, you know, the technology has just come light years from very recently. And your dad was showing me this new chest protector. He was talking to me about snowboarding. He was like, this is what you need. It's an inflatable chest protector. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. What does that cost? He goes, it's about $750. And I was like, what? Let's work on the helmet for now, Donnie.
It's so expensive. So he didn't even mention that. I don't know too much about it, but you have like 6 or 7 chances to fall. And then once you like go through the 6 or 7, I don't know if it's like airbags or something, then you have to purchase more airbags. So like the initial price is just for the top, like the 6 falls. And then if you keep falling, so depending on how much you fall, it's a little more than that too.
Ugh.
But it is cool. Like I actually saw it at a race this weekend. One of the races that I had, this guy goes over the finish and he like landed right on the face of the jump and did basically a front flip. And as soon as like right before he hit the ground, poof, it like pops out. Like it's cool actually.
Yeah, it looks, I mean, just the fact that you can protect your sternum like that.
Yeah.
With almost like you're wearing an airbag.
I mean, it's literally an airbag. It's wild. Like you see it just like pop and they get bigger. Like, I don't know, MotoGP, do you know what that is? Like the street bikes that go really fast. Like the motorcycle version of F1 is kind of how.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like this. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you see, they've been using them for a while, I feel like. But as soon as they fall, they'll like pop up, and then you see them like trying to run back to their bike, and it is so funny because they're all like inflated. It's
somebody popped it with a pin.
Yeah,
well, I guess we can't do that if we're going to reuse it.
I don't know how it like. I don't know. I don't know too much about it, so I'm not sure how it goes down. But the guy that was racing my race last weekend, he got back on the bike, but it still looked like it was definitely kind of inflated.
All right, so your weekend, let's talk about it. Like, what does this weekend look like for you? Where are you going? What do you do?
So I am going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to go to the hospitals and kind of just double check on all my surgeons before I head to Toronto. And then I'm going to beeline it, drive like a race car driver to the airport, and hopefully don't miss my flight. That's every weekend. Like, I am a very timely person, but when it comes to flights, I'm usually at work in the operating room. So I never want to like leave. Not that I don't want to leave, but it's just really hard to leave, because I'm like, wait, we're not done. I need to do this. I need to do this. So hopefully I won't miss my flight. Tomorrow it's international. So I need to get there in like 2 hours early. Is that what they say now? I don't know. Is it 2 hours for international? Yeah. So I got to keep that in mind. So after, I go to the hospital, I'll go to the airport, I'll fly to Canada, Toronto. Never been, so this will be a first. I heard it's really cold there, so that'll be fun. And then when I get to Toronto, I'll go straight to the track, kind of check everything out. We'll have a production meeting, probably talk about what's going on this weekend, what kind of interviews we need, what videos are going to be on the broadcast that we need to shoot. We already have like our run a show for the weekend, so there's a producer in Canada. That's actually where our production company is. And he has already planned out, like, Kristen's going to talk at 7:21, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. It's kind of crazy how it's all planned out.
Okay, so what group are you with that has the producers and the camera people and all that? Is it like a channel? What is it?
So everything is like contracted kind of. So Arena Cross, it's AMA FIM North America Arena Cross is what I commentate for, and I'm the trackside reporter. And then we have a company called Jetworks that's out of Canada, and they're the one producing the TV show. And then we have like a couple different TV stations that pick it up. So like it's on Racer Network, and it's also on Ride TV. So it's on 2 different networks.
So, and those are, I guess, just cable networks.
Yeah. So Racer Network is, Ride TV is more like a streaming platform.
So you work with these people for each and every one. Y'all travel around. Everybody's meeting up from all over the country. That's really cool. So how many people are on the team?
So there's probably about around 25, 30 that are at the track. But it's actually funny. Like the guys that are in the booth that I talk to, they're actually in Canada at the studio. So they're watching it from Canada. Like last weekend, we're in Colorado, and they have there's like I don't know what it is, like less than a 2-second delay. There's a little bit of a delay because the feed has to get to Canada, but they're watching it live and talking about it as they're racing. And then I'm at the venue and doing like the interviews after the races and stuff.
So it's kind of like a football game. You got guys up in the booth, and then you're trackside like Laura Rutledge.
Yes.
Which
Which
be on the field.
She's like goals. Like, did you see her running in the Sugar Bowl to get on set?
No.
It's like viral because she has to run. She does her halftime interview with whatever coach, and then she has to sprint to the other side of the stadium to host the halftime show. So she's like full on running, and like she's an athlete. Like you can just tell she's an athlete. She's like sprinting. And it's crazy. As soon as she gets to the desk, they like take off her microphone, put on another one, like fix her hair, do all this, and then she is hosting the halftime show.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, she's the NFL gradually, steals them away. Like, with Maria Taylor, now she's the queen of the NFL, and they're slowly trying to take Laura Rutledge. So, it's interesting how that works. All right, let's move back to football. Well, first, last question. So the season, is it a year-round sport? How does that work?
So mine is just like November-ish. Well, we started in October this year until March.
Okay. But every weekend you're going somewhere.
Just about every weekend, because we're doing a double header this weekend. So usually we just have one race. Like last weekend we had a race Saturday in Colorado, but this weekend, I guess because it's international, we're doing Friday and Saturday night. So next weekend we're off, which is nice. I get a break from traveling, but it works out because then I can never mind. I'm not even going to say it out loud. I might be in a warm spot.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Nothing. We're not going to say anything about that. So, I mean, is this kind of just like a party on the road? Because, I mean, you've become great friends with all these people, right? I mean, is it like, all right, race is over, let's go out on the town?
Well, it's usually me and all guys. There's a couple of guys that I'll hang out with, but like they have kids, so I don't see them that often. I see them at the track, but it was funny because like last weekend we all went to dinner, and then we went to there's a bar with live music, and someone came up to me and was like, "You need a wing woman," because it's like me and 10 guys maybe. It's crazy because I mean, I don't know. It's moto, so most of the people working are guys. There's one other girl, Andrea, and she runs everything. Like she does everything. But she ended up coming, so then it was me and her. But other than that, it's me and a bunch of guys. And I don't know if I would say a party because, I mean, I don't drink that much, to be completely honest. And I'm usually the one taking the 6 a.m. flight the next day, like out of Toronto. So I usually go to bed at a decent time. There has been times where I haven't gone to bed and I'm just straight to the airport because I was boarding at 4 a.m. But I don't know. I try to be responsible because then I have to come back and go to work the rest of the week. So I really try to catch up on my sleep. But I will say there was in Boise, Idaho, we got to the bar about 1 because our show's pretty late. Like we end at like 11. Then it's like 10:30, 11. Then we have the press conference. And I'm just so fired up after racing. It's hard for me to go to sleep. I mean, you probably know, like after a football game, you're so like, your adrenaline is going. It's hard to go to sleep. So sometimes I will go out. And if my flight board's at like 4 a.m., then I might not go to sleep. But I try to be responsible and go to sleep.
Well, if you stay up all night, then you can sleep on the flight. Yeah.
That is kind of true. I've gotten better at that. I usually can't sleep anywhere, but I've gotten a little better at that.
All right. I swear we're going to get back to football, but remind everybody again your day job, because you talked about being in surgery, and I think Chandler told me you're a distributor. Is that right?
Yeah. So I sell medical devices. I have my own S Corp, technically LLC, and I can sell different products from different distributors. So I mainly sell an amniotic tissue. I work with plastic surgeons that do breast reconstruction. So all the cases that I'm in the operating room every day with the surgeons while they do surgery. And all the cases that I work on are breast cancer patients. So basically, usually they'll have a mastectomy before we go in. And then my surgeon is the plastic surgeon that's reconstructing the breast. And they use my product to help healing. And I explain it to people that like aren't in the medical field as fertilizer for the skin. So like a lot of times these women are immune compromised. They're going through chemo or radiation, and it's just hard for them to heal. And like radiation makes your skin pretty tough. It doesn't heal like a normal person would heal. And so my products has cytokine proteins, matrix proteins. It just basically is fertilizer, helps them heal better.
And is that the amniotic tissue you were referring to?
Yes, that's the amniotic tissue, which comes from a placenta from a woman. And then it's hydrated, and we have it in a powder, like particulate form that we sprinkle on. So yeah, that's my main thing.
That's fascinating. I mean, so many people are, touched by breast cancer. I've had family members and friends that have. Are stem cells involved with the amniotic tissue? They are?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it all helps with healing.
Okay. How did you get into that? That's really cool.
So I think, so when I was doing Mercer football, this is so random, but my cousin's high school girlfriend was living in Atlanta, and her brother-in-law had a distributorship, and they were doing orthopedic products. And she called me and she was like, hey, like, I know you're doing this stuff, but I feel like you'd be really good at this. If you want to come talk and like, just see if you'd be interested. So I went up to Atlanta, met her for coffee or something, and we talked about it. And long story short, I ended up doing orthopedics at first. And then when I moved to Dallas is when I got into the whole amniotic tissue thing. And I started off doing like GYN stuff. So hysterectomies, myomectomies, and they use the amniotic tissue as a sheet that'll help with adhesions. So adhesions won't form. And it also helps with healing. And then from there, somehow met some plastic surgeons, and they're like, oh yeah, we can use this in our practice when we do breast reconstruction. So
does it help minimize scarring, or is it strictly for healing?
So, I mean, strictly for healing, like when we use it as a sheet, it helps minimize scarring and adhesions and all that. It's supposed to help with the incision, supposed to look better, less inflammation, less redness, all that stuff. And so that's why we mainly use it, is just to help healing. A lot of times they'll do like there's like a T-point, if that makes sense. So it's where they're doing 3 pieces of tissue together. And this little triangle right here doesn't always heal together because I don't know if you know, but when they do a double mastectomy, there's a lot going on in there. And sometimes the skin loses perfusion, so there's not as much blood flow. And it's possible that the skin dies before it actually heals. So it just helps give it a little extra fertilizer juju to heal faster.
We have gotten scientific today on the MadDawg Show. That is that's almost like a calling as much as it is a profession.
It's cool. It's actually, so medical sales, it's long hours. I work a lot, and I've been missing a lot of work, to be completely honest, for this other stuff. But like my surgeons worked just about every Saturday starting in October. So they're working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's how busy they are. And just, they have like a wait list that I don't even know how far out they book, but they worked a ton in the fall. Leading up to December. They call it deductible December. But they worked a ton. And where was I going with this? Oh, and in orthopedics, not that it wasn't like you weren't helping people. You definitely were helping people. But a lot of times it's like, I don't know, there's just something a little more meaningful for me. Like I feel like I'm a little more passionate about women with breast cancer than your random person that stepped off a ledge. Like it's hard. Like what they go through, I mean, emotionally, physically, I cannot imagine. So when you're working on a Saturday, it's a lot better knowing that you're helping someone that has been through so much already. And And obviously, like, I don't really take credit. Like, I'll see people in the hospital and they're like, thank you for what you do. And I'm like, no. Like, I am not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. Like, I just bring a product. But it's still cool, like, to see them and how much they care for their patients and the time that they spend. It's cool. It's like a cool group to be in, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a job that has a humongous feel-good factor because you're helping these people who are going through something horrific and trying to get their lives back to some sort of normalcy that they had before. All right, I got to know, because everything in Macon's connected. Who was the cousin?
Okay, so it was my cousin that lives in Dallas.
Okay.
So you probably wouldn't know. My cousin lived in Dallas, and he had a girlfriend. Her name was actually Teal, who also lived in Dallas. But then she randomly was in Atlanta, which she knew I was close to, so she called me.
Everything works out for a reason. It seems like it was
Do you know my dad's sisters? They grew up in Macon. I don't know if
probably, and I didn't realize they were his sisters. Who are they?
Sherry, I guess it would have been Sherry Banks, Jackie Banks, and Laurie Banks. He had 3 sisters. They all went to Stratford.
What are their last names now?
Sherry Brewer, Laurie Maloney, and Jackie Podkolski.
Sherry Brewer sounds familiar. Who's her husband?
So Trey Brewer, he's a United pilot.
Okay.
But they live out here. None of them live in Macon, but they all grew up in Macon.
Gotcha. All right, football. Back to Ole Miss. I wish we were talking about Georgia. We're talking about Ole Miss.
I know, I'm sorry. I feel
rallying behind you, toting the SEC flag. We need you to beat Carson Beck. And for me, based on what I've seen, I'm not worried about it because I know that Ole Miss is going to be able to put pressure on him. I know Ole Miss is going to be able to block this vaunted D line of Miami.
Yeah.
I think the line like 3?
Honestly, I don't know much about Miami. I really don't. I don't think I've even watched one game that they've played this year, to be completely honest.
I've watched them some. I've watched their loss to Louisville. They're not world beaters. I mean, they were I felt like the committee kind of bent over backwards to let them in finally over Notre Dame. So they've kind of probably got that whole, we're leading a charmed life type, I don't know, vibe going on, not more than Ole Miss. And, their rally against Lane Kiffin, who ironically gets paid more and more the more you win.
Yeah. But, I mean, I still, I tell people, money is money. He already has more money than he could want.
Great point.
He cares more about winning a national championship, I think, than the money. So if we go to win a national championship, I feel like that would be the biggest slap in his face because he left Ole Miss to go to a school where he could win a national championship.
Right.
Kind of ironic.
That's exactly right. Having played you guys twice, our claim to fame this year, if you win it all, is we're the only team that beat Ole Miss.
Yeah, that is so true.
And, Georgia fans just we're turning into spoiled Alabama fans because everybody turns on everybody else. It's like, it's his fault. And, the biggest scapegoat for whatever reason is Bobo.
Yeah.
Which and it's like, all right, there's a couple of things going on here. Were there play calls I didn't like? Yes. Does Bobo play defense? No. Does Bobo kick field goals? No. And oh, by the way, Trinidad Chambliss is special.
He really is.
He makes me think of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And we talked about this, that I'll always have this play seared into my brain of him scrambling, doing S patterns and on the field as he curves all the way back around, like basically the goal line. Nobody can catch him. And then just flips the ball to a guy who's open. And when you have a guy who can scramble that much and for that long, you can't cover good receivers for that long. You just can't.
Yeah.
Because they're going to start improvising like they're playing roughhouse in the backyard, and they're going to get open.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was as much about what Georgia did or didn't do as much as what he did.
Right. No, I think it's crazy, and I don't know. I mean, I heard this may have to do with Lane Kiffin, because Lane Kiffin was all about more so like a team sport, I think. Like, he didn't want individual players to get more recognition. But I feel like Trinidad Chambliss has been slept on this entire year. Like, he wasn't even in Heisman's talk, like, at all. Like, I mean, the top 4 or 5, he was not even in that talk at all. And I'm not even saying that, like, maybe he should have won Heisman, but he is a good, well-rounded player. And I mean, the fact that it's such a Cinderella story, like, D2 player, Ferris State, goes to Ole Miss, is the backup, then wins, like, because Austin Simmons got hurt,
Right.
plays a game, and now he's a starting quarterback, takes his team to the Sugar Bowl. I mean, the whole story is just, it's crazy. It's really crazy every time I think about it.
Lane Kiffin does get credit for plucking Trinidad from obscurity of Ferris State, which I couldn't even tell you where they are on a map. And when I saw Austin Simmons
somewhere up north, I think. I know where it is, but I forgot. Somewhere up north.
We'll look it up in a minute. But when, Austin Simmons came in last year against Georgia when Jackson Dart came out.
Right.
And was lighting us up in that game.
Yeah.
And so when I saw him go out, Trinidad comes in and then doesn't give up that job, I'm like, uh-oh, this guy's got to be really, really good. And he was, and he's a class act. I mean, we all know about him going over to talk to Gunner after the game. He didn't have to do that.
That was awesome. Yeah. I loved that. I saw that video. And then I just posted on my Instagram today, like, he prays before every game with his mom. And I think it's so sweet. And like, he's just he's the guy that you want leading your team. Like, he's a good guy. He's all about sharing the gospel, and he's cool. I really do like him. Don't know him at all, but I think he's a good kid.
We need to get him on this show.
Right.
And I thought he was a lot smaller than he is. I mean, I think he's listed at 6'1", which may be generous. He may be more like 6 feet.
Yeah, I think he's probably 6 foot if I had to guess.
Right.
Because if you see him in pictures, he's not. Wait, hold on. Actually, I want to show you something real quick.
You got a picture of you with Trinidad?
No, I'm not that cool. Hold on. I have a lot of messages. I'm trying to make it to where you can see. Okay. Check out the background on Kristen's phone. Wait, can you see it? How do I do it to where it's not?
Okay, I can see him, and I can see the guy with the cigar.
Hold on. It's Trinidad and Kewan Lacey.
Okay.
But they're both not very big guys.
Right.
They're not.
Well, I mean, it's kind of been proven that you don't have to be 6'4" to be a great quarterback. I mean, even in the NFL, I mean, look at Drew Brees. All right, Ferris State is in the state of Michigan, main campus, Big Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah.
I could have never told you that. All right, here's what I want to know.
All right.
Who's your freaking field goal kicker?
Dude, I don't even know his name. I'm literally number 17. He is insane. Like 56-yarder, a 55-yarder. Oh, my gosh. What is his name? Yeah, you're going to have to tell me because that's so bad. I don't know his name. He's from North Carolina, maybe? Is that what I heard?
Lucas Carnero?
Something like that.
Yeah. Kicked the 47-yarder, transferred to Ole Miss from Western Kentucky. And, aside from the 47-yarder, which I knew he was going to make after he had drilled those other ones that were in the 50s.
Yeah. I mean, was literally 56, I think. Because I got all out. I was like, 56? What?
And after seeing those and just how steady he was, when he lined up for that 47-yarder, I was
pretty confident.
I was very confident that we were about to lose.
I'm shocked we even got that opportunity. Like I was telling you earlier, I'm proud of our defense because it was like the second quarter. I don't know what was going on, but then halftime they came out, and third quarter they were defending. They were doing really well. But then fourth quarter they started slipping again. And when y'all got down there with less than a minute, right? Or was it a minute to score a touchdown, I was almost positive you guys were going to score a touchdown and it was going to be game there. I did not think we were going to get the chance.
I thought we were going to be able to keep you guys from driving the field, and I felt like if we could get you into overtime, we could win.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's based on other than the fact that we've done well in overtime. But then that guy got loose one play, and I was like, well, it's over because I knew your kicker was going to be able to drill it.
We just had that's where I started getting confident because I'm like, all right, if we can just get to the 50, like we should be okay. Come on, guys, we got this. Just half a field.
So let's dream a little bit. Let's say that Ole Miss wins, and I think they will, and I hope they do.
People are still sleeping on Ole Miss, just by the way. Which
I don't know. I don't know. Anybody that's sleeping on Ole Miss is just not paying attention. I don't know how you could be sleeping on them. You've had so much press this year just because of Lane Kiffin that shined a light on the program and how good the team is, regardless of who's coaching, right?
Yeah.
You see Trinidad, and you're like, this guy is special. He's a magician. He does not miss. I mean, I'm talking about even when it's a regular play and there's not scrambling involved. I mean, he is slicing up defenses, and he just doesn't miss. It's maddening to watch if you're on the other team. Okay, you've beaten Miami.
Okay.
Do you have a preference of playing Indiana or Oregon? Because I have a preference. So you go first.
I feel like I would rather play Oregon, to be completely honest. I don't know why, but I just feel like I don't know. Did you want to play Dan Lanning or no?
I would be fine with Lanning getting there, but I want you to beat Indiana because
I'm wondering, are they actually as good as people say they are and as good as they look? But then I saw them against Alabama, and I'm like, dang, like really? Because Alabama, I mean, we've seen them this year. Like, I don't know.
They're not Nick Saban's Alabama. You know, they're not these world beaters of the past.
Yeah, and Ty Simpson. So I also didn't watch that game because we were doing New Orleans things, walking around. I don't know if you watched it, but Ty Simpson is either on or he's off, and I'm not sure if he was on or off during that game, or that's how I personally feel.
He was off, and by the way, he's going to the NFL.
I did say that.
I'm not a believer in Indiana. I think they played a mediocre Alabama team. I just feel like I have to be proven wrong by Indiana beating a team that I know to be very good. And I know Ole Miss to be a very good football team. And if Indiana were to beat them, then I would finally believe.
I mean, it would definitely be more satisfying for Ole Miss to beat Indiana, for sure. I mean, they're still undefeated. What are they, 12-0? Is it 12 now?
Oh, no, at this point, they're 13, maybe 15. No, they're 14-0, I think.
Oh, gosh.
They're the ones driving up the natty prices, all those Yankees thinking that they're going to be in the natty.
I mean, I haven't looked today, but yesterday, lower level, $11,000 a ticket. I'm like, come on, guys. This isn't the Super Bowl. Let's calm down, everyone.
You need to bring, like, some of your moto team and a camera and a microphone and just
I'm recording.
Make your way on into the stadium.
Like, I'm like, I told myself that if Ole Miss makes it, I'm going. But I also, like, have a house mortgage to pay for. And I really don't think that $11,000 on a ticket is a smart investment for me.
So this is what you're just checking online?
Yes.
Yeah.
Seriously. Well, so someone actually sent me prices, a screenshot of prices yesterday, and $3,500, I think, in the nosebleeds was the cheapest.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
5,000. I mean, look, 11,000. Hold on, you can't see.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that made it worse. Gosh. Okay, hold on.
All right, I've got your plan B.
It's expensive.
You ready for your plan B?
Yeah, let's hear it.
When you guys win, I'm being positive. I'm manifesting. You like that?
Yeah, I do. That's a millennial word. I feel like.
you plan with your Ole Miss buddies
Uh-huh.
a trip for y'all to get together to celebrate. Like, would it be you get together back at Oxford? Do you have them come to Dallas? Do a rewatch when there's no pressure?
Okay.
These are just, I'm an idea guy. This is some of my ideas.
I feel like I'm going to Miami regardless. I really feel like it. And either I'm in the game or I'm not in the game. I will say there's this guy that I don't even know him that well, but he races off-road trucks. And he posted a video about how he's going to all the Miami games because he's been a fan since he was little. And today he posted a video of him on the way to the Fiesta Bowl, or a story. And I commented back and I said, okay, if Ole Miss wins, can I please buy your national championship tickets? Because I just feel like he already has national championship tickets.
Right.
And his response was, that's a big if, but we can make it work. Or something like, we can talk about it after or something. So I'm like holding on to that, hope that maybe that's could possibly happen. And then I also reached out to another friend, which I never really ask people for things, but I'm sorry, Ole Miss going to the national championship is a big deal for me.
This is when you call in favors.
Yeah.
Now, here's another idea I had. You, the Miami guy, you make him a bet. If Miami wins,
Uh-huh.
I don't want to spend your money, but you're going to have to probably put a comma in it to make it worth his while. Like, I'm just going to throw out a number. Just an example. Miami wins, you owe him $1,000.
Okay.
Ole Miss wins, he owes you a free ticket.
That would be sick. Honestly, maybe I should message him. So listen to this. I don't gamble. Can you talk about that online? I don't really know.
Absolutely. We talk about gambling all the time.
Okay. I'm really mad at myself because I was told I could have put $500 on Ole Miss winning the national championship, was kind of aggressive, before the Sugar Bowl, and I would have won $11,000. And I'm kind of regretting it right now.
If they had gone ahead and won it, 500 would have won you 11.
Yeah, that was the one thing that was holding me back. I was a little more confident in like going to the national championship, but at that time I was like, shoot, we hadn't even beat Georgia yet. I don't know if we're going to win the national championship. But now I'm fully confident, like, Rebs are taking it all the way.
Well, here's one that'll really hurt your feeling. I love long shot bets.
Uh-huh.
Like I bet on Stetson Bennett a couple years ago, 100-1 to win the Heisman. He at least got to New York. And I'm looking at Ole Miss. This I asked before the season, Ole Miss was priced at plus 3,000 to win the national championship, that's just 30-1.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, Vegas has liked them
the
whole way through. 30-1 is not bad odds. I was expecting it to be much higher than that.
Yeah, me too. Probably because of Lane Kiffin, though.
Yeah, and you know what? Las Vegas is really good with numbers.
Yeah.
They always get it right.
Yeah, for sure.
And you, speaking of Lane Kiffin, one of the smartest things I've ever heard him say when he was kind of lamenting this whole CFP process, which is the most asinine, backwards, subjective system that you could ever come up with. No other sport has this. And he said, why don't we ask Las Vegas who the teams that should be in it? Like, take Georgia and Ole Miss and put them on a neutral field. Las Vegas will tell you what the spread is, and they're usually right.
That is so true. I hadn't even thought about that.
So go to whoever the biggest casino in the world. Go to Harrah's. I don't know, MGM, and make it the MGM National Championship.
That's
and have
easy.
have their odds makers tell us who the best 12 teams are, and I promise you, James Madison and Tulane would not have been in that mix.
Yeah. Oh, for sure not. Yeah. No.
So I begrudgingly give Lane credit for stating that, but that's it.
Well, that we have to say something nice about him because I haven't said much. That was nice.
Did you see the I don't even know if this is real, the deal that LSU cut with Nike?
No, I did not. How much?
Some deal with 10 athletes across all sports where they're going to be heavily involved in like brand creativity and having a say so in that. And then the two guys in football got a big NIL deal, and they were saying, that it would be used obviously by Lane to be able to recruit and go, hey, Chandler Banks, you come here to play basketball and, you ball out, you're going to be the guy that's going to get a big deal with Nike.
Nike. Wow. That's a cool incentive.
Yeah.
Dang. No, I'm not surprised though, but I have not heard that.
I think it's going to turn into wealthy, connected alumni at each school.
Yeah.
Putting these deals together.
Guess who I just found out went to Indiana that I don't think I knew about, and maybe the reason that Indiana is a decent football team right now? Mark Cuban. Did you know that? Like, I saw he gave, yes, I'm pretty sure now I'm like second guessing myself that he actually went there, but I saw that he started giving December 2024 to Indiana football. I'm about to look it up.
I am too. I bet he was a dropout, though.
Yep, Indiana. So in 2024, I read something today that said December 2024, Mark Cuban started giving money to the football team, which it all is starting to make sense to me.
And he got a degree from there. Interesting. I would have, he's one of those, internet whiz kids that I would have figured dropped out after his freshman year and just started making tons of money.
Yeah. But I feel like that just proves what money will do. I'm sure he gave a pretty penny to the football team.
100%. And that's what's so crazy is it's put so much pressure on these other coaches that are like, okay, Kirk Cignetti just came in to the literally losingest football program in the history of college football, and it's flipped them around in 2 years, gone to the playoffs twice, and has them on track to potentially win a national championship. Why can't you do that, Coach X?
Yeah. Yeah. I would never want to be a football coach. That's all I know. Never.
No. I mean, they have every waking second of every day spoken for.
Yeah.
The pressure part, though, I can understand them dealing with that. It's the family time that they sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just feel like you're also either like a zero or a hero, even for your family. Like the town either loves you, depending on if you won that week, or they're pissed at you. Like, it's just too much. Football fans are a little too intense.
They are. I mean, it's just like we were talking about, like Georgia fans turning on themselves after we lost to a great Ole Miss team, and everybody's pointing fingers. Bobo should have done this and Kirby should have done that. I'm like, guys.
Yeah.
Can we all not stay together, win or lose?
I will say Kirby was so professional. Like, he could have passed blame on someone else, blah, blah, blah. But like in the post conference, I can't talk tonight. I don't know why. But in the press conference, after the post-game press conference, he was saying, like, we were just straight up out-coached. Like, the way that he just took blame for, like, I feel like a lot of times coaches will, I don't know, make up all these excuses. And I feel like Kirby was just like, no, like, we were out-coached.
And it takes it to another level because there were new coaches. There were coaches that were either A, a new head coach for the first time, or B, on loan. You've got this unit that's been together for a good amount of time going against a coaching staff that's kind of patched together at this point. I mean, I know they've been with the team the whole year, but it's a different dynamic altogether.
I still heard, I mean, I don't know if this is true, but I heard we're losing people that were at the Sugar Bowl that are going back to LSU. And there's only two. The OC, is it Weiss Jr.? I forget his name.
Yeah.
And Kevin Smith, the running backs coach, are the only ones that are going to LSU that'll be at the Fiesta Bowl. But there were more than that at the Sugar Bowl, I think. So I'm just like, we keep cutting coaches.
Well, and I saw Golding talking about it. He was like, quit asking me who's going to be where when. I don't know. Because I know those guys went back to LSU. They got another job they're going to do. They're going to come back. And then there's one coach. Is it Joe Judge?
Yeah, Joe Judge. Yeah.
Somebody was talking about him. They were like, Joe Judge used to coach the Jets.
Yeah.
So if he needs to step up from his running backs coach role to do something, they're going to be okay. Like I pretty much think at this point that you could trot Trinidad out there and go, hey, call the game.
No, and
I think he can call the plays and win.
That's a little bit. I mean, our OC is really good, but I heard, I think it's Trinidad talking about it, and he's like, Pete, like, he trusts us. He lets us do our thing. Like, he's a defensive guy, and he has all his trust in us. And I was like, oh, so it sounds like they do have. I mean, our OC's good, and he's a good play caller, but LSU's taking him. But yeah.
But you see my point with Trinidad. I mean, the guy knows the offense better than anybody. He knows what's going to work.
Right.
I think he could go out there and call the plays and probably do just about as good of a job. I bet if he called the plays himself, and then after the game, he goes, nobody knew that. And they're like, oh, yeah, the OC, got the stomach flu, so I called the game. People would be like, wow.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked either. And you mentioned Joe Judge. So rumors were circulating that that's who the head coach was going to be. Like, Pete Golding was not even on my radar from things that I was reading after Lane left. And so I was kind of shocked. I was like, Pete Golding, I didn't know too much about him. But yeah, Joe Judge, I think he's staying too at Ole Miss.
Golding was the guy who caught a ton of grief when he was coaching for Saban in Alabama.
I was going to say Alabama, yeah.
But, I mean, everybody over there is under the microscope. And so, you let somebody score 11 points in a game and they want to run you out of town.
Yeah.
But,
like I said,
all right, so where you're going to watch this game from Canada?
Oh, my gosh. I haven't thought about logistics. It's probably going to be watched from my cell phone because I don't even know what time it is. But by the time I land, I'm going to be at the track most likely. So I'm probably going to be watching it from my cell phone.
That's rough.
I know. It's really unfortunate. And I'm wondering if I need to carry a pom-pom. I'll definitely have an Ole Miss hat. I'm trying to think I got some lucky beads in New Orleans. Actually, a Georgia fan gave them to me. And now I've deemed them as my lucky beads. They're powder blue. So I might need to take those with me. I don't know. I might need to do everything.
You should do that, and you should force Chandler to text you updates every time somebody scores.
He would hate that. So I don't even know if he's really cheering for us. Hopefully he is. But it's such a sore subject. I seriously think that he would be blowing up my phone and talking crap. But I've tried to not do that. But I will say the day after, I saw a funny meme. And it was like, at my funeral, I'm going to have my pallbearers or whatever are going to be Georgia football players because I want them to let me down one more time.
Oh, my God.
I sent that to him the day after, and I said, is it too soon for jokes? And he didn't respond until the next day, but he said that he fell asleep. And I was like, okay. But he did say, he was like, okay, that's pretty funny. But that's the joke that I've sent him. That's the only thing I've said about it. So I've been doing really well over here.
That's a good one.
It made me laugh. I was like, he will agree because I know his frustration sometimes. So I was like, you'll think this is funny.
Well, I'm going to work on his cardio and get him whipped back into shape.
He needs to step up the cardio game.
He's got the weights figured out. He's a beast in the weight room.
He's got the weights figured out for sure.
When are you taking off tomorrow? Tomorrow already sounds like a crazy day.
It is a crazy day because I have an early flight. My flight's at noon out of DFW. And it's bad because my work schedule has been in the hospital very lax because my surgeons have been out of town. So it's Thursday and Friday, they're going to hit it running. And I'm going to be like, all right, great seeing everyone. Now I got to go. I'll be gone for a couple of days and I'll be back Monday.
Well, I mean, they've used your product before. So it's not like
they're fine without me, but it's just, I feel bad. I'm not there to be the emotional support that I need to be.
Right. Now, do you talk to the patients?
No, thankfully, no. Just because I don't know. I don't think I could separate knowing them from it's weird. Surgeons they're able to compartmentalize, or I don't know. Ortho's definitely different because it's pretty they're like hammering knees and pulling
Yeah.
this and sawing this. Like it's barbaric, honestly. So to like know the person that you're working on is crazy. But no, I do not.
Yeah, ortho guys, they're
Like asleep and covered and everything. That's when I go in.
ortho guys are like human carpenters.
It's crazy. It's seriously crazy. Like when I first started ortho, I was like, what? It's not what I thought an orthopedic surgeon did.
Yeah, it's
Like,
wild.
they have to be like strong too. Like the stuff that they're doing, I'm like, this is a workout.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Kristen, thank you so much for carving out time because I know you're so busy between your day job, traveling with motocross. You got a team in the semis. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you come out of that game tomorrow happy and Carson Beck comes out sad.
Me and you both. Hotty toddy. Hopefully I'll be in Miami next week.
I'm not saying hotty toddy.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs till the end.
The Mad Dog Show is proudly sponsored by Alex Smith Garden Design, Griffin Lumber and Hardware, The Sanford Company, Sellers Construction, Bib Distributing, Butler Automotive, Pelicano Construction, The Dog Bone, Go Clean Co., Macon Monogramming, Fincher's Barbecue, Bulldog Illustrated, Cranford Chiropractic, Walthall Oil,